Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy, it's my pleasure, it's my honor to be out here well connected with nature and bringing you this message of emancipation, whereby I'm pointing you to look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity. That is why I want to speak to you concerning how gods do not have religion and how we are gods having a human experience. Now, my brother and my sisters, many of us would have grown up to know more about religion more than ourselves. And the reason for that is because our very early stage of learning comes from our parents. And whatever was taught to them, they would automatically teach it to us also. And so, because we all came into this world in a state called amnesia, which is a state of forgetfulness, when we been expressed here, our subconscious mind is wide open from the time we came from our mother's womb right up to the age of 8 or 7. So whatever is downloaded on our subconscious mind, that is what we would basically like become, because that's how we shape our adult life. So everything is based on our belief system, what we believe. And we were taught to believe in religion. We were never taught to believe in self-realization. We were never taught to believe that God and man are one. For God is man's imagination. And that is why I want to speak to you as gods, as creators, conscious creators. There are many people who believe in a creator outside of themselves. They believe in a God outside of themselves. They believe in a savior and a redeemer outside of themselves, because they were fed with exoteric Christianity. But I'm bringing to you esoteric Christianity, which is pointing you to look inwardly to discover your real identity, to be God, because you will realize that you are a divine, infinite, eternal being, and you're just having a human experience. And that is why you must never tie yourself to any religion or any belief system, because they will bring you into limitation. Now, when we look around the world, we see all different kind of denominations. And so all of these different religious bodies or denominations, they are different beliefs, yet all of them believe that they're going to heaven. And it's all confusion. Yet the Bible tells you that God is not the author of confusion. So we look around, we see one is a Muslim, one is a Baptist, one is a Methodist, one is an Anglican, one is a Seventh-day Adventist, one is a Jehovah's Witness, one is a Methodist, an Anglican, one is a Roman Catholic, and so on. And it goes on and on. Yet, when we look at our life, none of us was born with that kind of identity. So, we were taught to take on false identity. But I'm here to say to you that your real identity is your divinity. Therefore, you're God in flesh. And I speak to you as God in flesh also. Because, as I would have said before, you're the one who's creating your reality. Because it is your own thoughts that is creating your personality. For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Therefore, if you think like a God, you'll act like a God. And you'll hold yourself responsible as a God or a conscious creator. But you must know that God in man is man's imagination. Therefore, you must trust your imagination for you to live your life how you want it to be. Because when you come to realize that the entire universe is mental, and everything is mental, everything has to first be a thought, it has to first be an idea, then you would realize how much you must be in charge of your mind and how you must be in control of your mind, and someone will control your mind for you, and you will fail to live like a God. Now, we're living in a world where there's so much different distractions to shift you away from your God self or your higher self. So you will never be able to discover your Christ consciousness. You'll never be able to have true salvation, which is self-realization. So my brother and my sisters, those who you know, who might be your friends or your relative, who are still holding on to false identity and still trapped in religion, you must show them the importance of self-realization. You must teach them also what our ancestors would have known way before secular Christianity was written, after it was plagiarized and taken from Kemet, and the European put it in a way to enslave people and to keep them in mental slavery. But the good news, my brother and my sisters, is that it is never too late to awake, to come to discover that you are spirit having a human experience. It's never too late for you to discover that you're God in flesh and that you can create your reality consciously. So my brother and my sisters, when you look more deeply, you realize that those who want to keep you in a religious state of mind, they have to speak to you because everything is psychological. They are not performing the things that they want you to believe. And when I say that, this is what I mean. They want you to believe in a savior who turned literal water into wine, and they want you to believe that that same savior is within you, but you can't turn literal water into wine. Neither can they turn literal water into wine. Common sense will teach you that that does not walk in the continuance of the laws that governs the universe, because we look around and we see that every seed and every species always reproduce after its own kind, which means whatever life is in that seed, that is the fruit it will bring forth. And when you see you cannot bring forth the fruit of the Savior and the Redeemer that they are telling you that is literal and now lives in you, when you're not bringing forth that same fruit, something is wrong. It doesn't add up. And that is why, my brothers and my sisters, there's no pastor, there's no prophet, there's no televangelist who can literally walk on water. They might try a little stunt to deceive you, but they cannot walk on water literally. Okay? They cannot raise the dead literally. They cannot shut down the hospitals. They cannot shut down the pharmacies. Because why? When you read of the stories that been used to keep people in a religious mindset, you realize that these stories, that they are metaphors, that they are mythology, or myths, I should say. And you must see these stories from an esoteric standpoint, seeing that is pointing towards you, and it all have to do with your mind. So you must go beyond religion and come into self-realization. So my brother, my sister, that's the reason why I'm telling you that when you realize that you are God, you no longer hold to religion. You no longer believe in the teachings of religion, but you believe in your higher self. You love yourself, you embrace yourself, and you accept yourself, because you say, if you believe in God, believe also in me. And you will know that the name of God is I am, especially if you grew up in Christianity. Exodus chapter 3 tells you that the name of God is I am. From generation to generation, it's your memorial, and you can never say I am. and not referring to yourself. So my brother, my sister, this is just a short word of encouragement and a reminder to you to keep believing in yourself, because you are God in flesh and you descended into generation and must ascend into regeneration. So my brother, my sisters, trust your imagination and use your imagination morning, noon and night to create your reality consciously. And that's why it's very important for you to practice visualization. It is very important for you to calm your mind down through meditation. It is very important for you to use affirmation, speak things how you want them to be in your life. For your words will not return unto you void, but you must accomplish that which you send it to and prosper in the thing whereto you send it. That's why it is very important also to use scripting, because you're supposed to ask and it will be given. And you show that you're asking when you write it down. You're writing a letter to yourself, because you're doing what is needed to be done to cause an impregnation, because you're feeling a spiritual sensation, which is a desire, and you want to experience the manifestation that is happening in the spiritual realm, because you are a spirit. And so you see also that correlates with the sexual act in the physical, which brings us here. So all of us are creating, and you must be conscious of your creation by being more conscious of how you think. So my brother and my sisters, I want to thank you very much for listening to me and for accepting the truth that you are God in flesh, and that you are not a human trying to be spiritual, but you are spirit having a human experience, and you are eternal. So with that being said, my brother and my sister, I want to say, if this is the very first time that you are listening to me and what I'm saying is making sense to you, and you haven't subscribed already, I'm encouraging you to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share this video. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.